Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how you can import data into your database from an external file. Now to do this you'll need your database, and then on my desktop I've got the data file that contains all the information that I'm going to need. If I open it up, you can see I've got first line, which includes a row with all my field names in, and then all this is just all data required for each of these field names. So I want to take this and I want to import it into a table within my database. Now to do that, I've clicked on external data over here because I'm collecting that information from an external file. So I'm going to import this in. I can use an Excel file, I can use a text file. There's lots of different options here from where you can collect data. So I'm going to import it from the text file. I'm going to select exactly where the information is. It's the mock exam data. And then I want to import it into a current table in my database. So I'm gonna go across there. This is the data as the computer's read it, so it's fine. It looks about right. Now we've got to make sure that the first line, which includes our field names, doesn't get attributed to the data. So I'm going to click on first row contains field names, and that way that just separates the first line from the rest. I'm then going to click on next. And as I'm doing this, I'm double checking and making sure that the data looks about right. Does that look like student ID? Does that look like issue ID? And it looks fine to me. Now, in this data set, we have lots of information. And the information, you can see there's date for personal tutor response, there's some student information, there's some information about teachers and tutors. And so I need to decide what information is it that I want to input. Do I want it all? Now, I know that in this case, I'm creating a table for teachers, so I don't need a lot of this information. So I'm going to select the Advanced tab, and it brings over here a list of all the different fields that I can import. Now I'm going to scan through this list, and looking at that list, the only ones that I'm going to need are these four at the bottom over here: teacher password, username, first name and surname. So I can skip all the others and I can import them into separate tables later on. So I'm just going to select the skip checkbox for all the fields that I do not want. Okay, just going to double check. I've got the four at the bottom and I haven't got any others that I want. Okay, that's done. I'm then going to select next, and it's asking me now, do I want a primary key as a auto number ID to recognize each file, or do I want to choose my own primary key, or do I not need a primary key? Now I know that for the data set I'm working for, there is already a teacher username that's a unique number that I can use as a primary key. So I'm going to ignore having a primary key in there. I'm going to select no primary key, and I'm going to select next. Give it a name. So let's call it teacher data, and finish it off. Do we want to save the steps? No, we don't. And you'll see the teacher appear. If I double click now on the table, you can see I've got the password, the teacher username, teacher first name and the teacher surname. I can then, if I want to, go into design view and start to have a play around with these and assign the primary key. But that's how you import information from an external file into a table within database.